Hello everybody and welcome to Jet Lag and Time Looped.
Oh,
Awesome.
This time is gonna be the first one for real because so far we've been having some other test runs, but this one is the first one for real. This is the first podcast awarded with the 3 Michelin stars prize.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah,
Is that true?
Yeah, it is. Just last week.
Wow,
I got the letter in, and
that's fantastic.
yeah.
That's really high praise.
It is, yeah. And I'm your host, Paco, and next to me are as 2 stone columns in Athens, Shashi and Brian. Hello, Shashi and Brian.
hi Paco.
LG Malaga.
Hello, Malacca.
That's the only Greek I know. But yeah,
It's the most beautiful word, I think, right?
Yeah.
Malacca.
Malaga's fantastic.
Yeah. I don't know any other words in Greek. No, you said hi Malacca, right?
LG Malaga.
Elachim.
I know, it's my buddies say all the time.
When I was listening to you or your buddy speak, especially them, because they're both Greeks, just Malaccas all over the place.
All over the place. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So how are you guys doing today?
Doing good. Just came from Geneva.
What were you doing in Geneva?
Just went to
Party?
to service my car, and I just came. I was lucky to avoid the traffic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I wasn't that
Tell-
lucky this morning on the way to work.
Yeah, because it was snowing like crazy.
It was
We
a
had the
nightmare.
spring snow today.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. I mean, look now. I mean, it's supposed to be, well, it's cloudy / sunny, but
It was white this morning.
yeah,
The ground was what covered.
it was. And last week it was okay. It's not 20 degrees, but warm enough for me, just going in a sweater outside, which is crazy because now it's
Yeah.
like
We played basketball Tuesday.
exactly. You play basketball.
The weather worked out so that we can all go for skiing this weekend.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
I'd rather have snow in the winter and temperate weather in spring, and then warm in the summer, because otherwise things are going too crazy with global warming. I don't know. We're already fucked up. This world is fucked up already. So
That's for
it needs
sure.
to be, unfortunately. Anyway, I wanted to share with you a little bit of the entertainment that I consumed this week. And
Tell
this
me,
is-
Paco. Tell me.
Yes. Yeah.
is this new series that have been recommended by my dad, actually.
Ooh.
A Netflix original series that is called Dogs of Berlin.
Yes.
I don't know if it's a while already that it's been on Netflix, but I just discovered it. It is amazing. It's fantastic. I'm hooked up. It's 1 hour per episode. The first season has like 7 or 8 episodes. I'm not really sure, but it's fantastic. It talks about racism, gangs, violence, and all the corruption around Berlin.
Is it in English or is it German?
It is in German.
It's German.
But you
okay.
have
Yeah.
it English dubbed or subtitled anyway. It's
Right.
how I watch it,
Mhm.
because I want to capture the German voices, how they go.
Is it like a season 1 or it's already in season?
There's only a
3?
season 1 so
Okay.
far. I think they signed for the second one,
Right.
but I'm not very sure. And it's fantastic because it's in our present time, and it talks about Turkish, let's say, mafia and the Turkish ethnic in Berlin, and against that you have the neo-Nazis that are kind of hidden but still being very neo-Nazi anyway.
Yeah.
And then around that you have the police, you have the society around, and I don't know. All of that is packaged in, the thing starts with football, because I'm not going to spoil anything, but let's say that the best German player dies. And the best German player of the German team is Turkish.
You said he dies.
He dies, he gets murdered. And he decides to play for Germany instead of play for Turkey. And so there's like a
Yes.
little, tension play between the Turkish mafia and the neo-Nazis, because nobody knows exactly who killed this guy and why he was killed.
Mhm.
At least what the watcher doesn't know. And you got in the same, let's say, sorry, you have the police, right? And we follow 2 policemen, the main characters, a Turkish one and a German one that has a neo-Nazi past. And the neo-Nazi one has a very shady past, and he's a very shady dude. And then is the Turkish one, which in principle seems nice and seems okay, but I'm sure he has some shady stuff too. But it's a very cool series. I mean, and it doesn't seem like too much, but it really hooks you up, and it's a people drama. It's a drama about people, and you know,
Interesting.
Character
Yeah.
character driven.
character driven
That's,
and
yeah.
you know, mixed up with racism and fucked up things. It's fantastic. It's not
Okay.
funny. It's just it's a drama. It's a it's a horrible drama.
I think you were telling me about it earlier in the week, and I think I said to you that I remember seeing it always as like recommended for you or you know what's trending now,
Yeah.
and I always saw it, but I never gave it a try. So as I value your opinion, I will definitely give it a go. You said your father
My father
recommended it to you.
recommended it. Yes, he did.
That's cool. That's super cool.
He's very into TV series and movies, but from a, let's say, more technical point of view.
Does your father speak German?
He does not. No, he speaks a little bit of French and English, and that's it. But it's dubbed in Spain.
It's dubbed in
In
Spain,
Ah,
Spanish
okay.
too.
I
Yeah,
see.
yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
okay.
Netflix Spain, it's dubbed. And
You share your Netflix account with your dad, or you have different Netflix accounts?
actually, I do. I share with him. Yeah.
You gotta.
So you
oh,
had to
never
be-
mind. We'll talk offline about this.
So you have to be very careful what you're watching, or you have to clear off your history, right? Very
I mean,
often.
what's bad to watch in Netflix?
Yeah, there's nothing
Like what's the
pornographic, right? Or
Right,
I don't know
right.
what would be bad for a
And
Spanish
and
kid to
worst
watch.
case, it was like that. I watch the stuff. That's what it is.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
What are you gonna do about it?
All right.
I live 2,000 kilometers from them. It's okay, I guess.
It's a good point too.
Yeah, and you know the cool thing about the series too is how the like, I'm not expert in cinema per se, in filming, but I know that formally the TV series has a special, let's say, way of showing things, like how the camera moves, the angles, the color, especially they play around with zooming into people's faces. So when somebody or when a character is going to be introduced, they zoom to their face like all the way. It's a weird way to film things, but it's interesting. And you know, you always have this angle from below, and you see things from below when it's gonna be violent or bad. It goes from below. So I don't know. It's a visually might be subtle, but it's a very great way of, you know, let's say, spicing what they already the story already has.
Yeah.
That is
Well, I
appealing.
think the cinematography is a big part of the storytelling.
True. Yeah.
You know, that's why you love certain movies that you love. Is because of the cinematography, the way it's filmed. It's a big part of the storytelling.
Mhm, mhm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
For sure.
I guess it can be both, like in both ways. Like you can have a shitty story, but a fantastic, let's say, formal way of telling it, and the other way around, a fantastic story and a shitty way of filming it. And you know, I think that's what's happening with a lot of films that don't maybe they haven't received as much as they should have, because in global you see the a bad picture of them, and when in reality maybe the story is fantastic but it's just filmed badly or the
Yeah.
other way around. And
No, for
I
sure.
don't know.
It's got to have the whole thing. You know.
Yeah.
That's why we love the movies that we do, because it's got the whole package.
Hmm. True.
What about you, Brian? Any entertainment this week?
Oh, not too much. I've been a little busy at home recently, but I did watch this documentary. It's called The Weapon of Choice, and I mentioned it to Pac-Man earlier because I wanted to bring it up here. And it's a documentary on this done by Austrian guys about an Austrian man called Gaston Glock. And Gaston Glock is a businessman who invented the Glock handgun.
Right.
And so the documentary is called Weapon of Choice, and it goes from the origins of the company. They didn't make weapons before; they made something else, completely else. But then the Austrian government or military commissioned them to make the most simple, perfect handgun, and I'll be goddamned if the guy didn't fucking do it. And then it goes from that into the culture and how the Glock pistol infiltrated hip-hop culture in the U.S. especially. Or you can listen to any hip-hop song from 1989 to 2009 and you'll probably get a reference to a Glock. And one of the things that they said in the documentary that I thought was very interesting was it was used so often that people often associated Glock as a gun, just like a nickname for a gun, just a general term for a gun, when that wasn't the case. It's a specific brand name. And then it just got bizarre and more bizarre from there, because this whole drama played out between this guy Gaston Glock and some of his business partners, and guys are in jail and attempted murders and all of this. It was just insane. Couldn't write this stuff. Couldn't make it up. But I did. That was one document that I watched, and I wanted to talk to you guys about. Well, we can move on to you, but I'll pose a question later on. It has something to do relevant to the documentary. But it was very interesting. I would recommend it. Give it a watch if you're
Really
into
watch
dogs.
it, like on YouTube or something?
No, it was on Netflix, dude.
Netflix.
Of course, Netflix. Just go to the documentary section. It's
They have
called
some-
It's called Weapon of Choice.
They have some good documentaries.
Fantastic.
And it seems like I need to get back my Netflix account. I've unsubscribed it because it
Did
was
you?
too much of content, and I was like, I
You're
said,
overwhelmed.
yeah, I'm
Really?
overwhelmed, and I kind of logged off, and now it seems like I need to get back because everything
Well,
is on Netflix.
that's-
You guys are promoting Netflix. You need to go.
That's all I watch, dude. That's all I watch.
We're
is
getting
Netflix.
we're not getting
You know.
paid, by the way.
And we're not at all.
Anybody.
No. It's just.
This podcast is sponsored.
What else
by
am I going to
Netflix.
watch? M6? I don't speak French. You know what the hell? What the hell else am I going to watch? You know.
Yeah. Anyway, anything you consumed this week you want to talk about? Or in general, maybe something that stays.
This week has been
Relevant.
very. There's a lot of elections happening. There's a election happening in India, so that is kind of, getting my attention. So every time I just go, and there's a lot of drama happening back in
A presidential election?
regional and the prime minister elections in India.
Prime
So it's kind
Minister.
of
Okay.
it's kind of like getting my attention, and there's a lot of drama happenings, and I'm consuming. It's entertaining me, and I'm trying to. It's not like as good as the U.S. presidential elections, but
Yeah, that's
I think it's
entertainment for
spicing
sure.
up. They have funny characters who came up. People talking random stuff, and weirdly, I find it very funny. Some of the people, and I keep on sharing all the funny clips with my brother and my parents. See this guy, what this guy is talking and everything. So,
Mhm.
yeah, it's kind of keeping me connected to my parents these days a lot
That's nice
in
too.
terms of exchanging entertainment.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's something that is cool.
I often talk about politics with my parents. It is a nice way to stay connected, although most of the time it's depressing talk,
Yeah.
but as of late, but yes, it's
I can relate to that. I do the same thing with mine.
It's the same thing as well. I mean,
I get in touch with what's happening in Spain through the internet mostly, but I don't dig in. But it's my parents that normally
Right.
tell me, especially my dad, who tells me exactly what's going on, or
Yeah.
all of the bullshit that happens in my country.
I
What's
got an
that?
idea today to really, is it possible? Okay, right now there's elections happening 2019, but for 2024, I was thinking if I can create a party in India.
A party.
Yeah,
what would your party be
I
based on?
don't know, but I mean the way the democracy is run, because India is the biggest democracy, and the way it is done right now is people elect somebody, they believe in somebody, whatever they're saying,
Sure.
and the moment they cast the vote, this guy is staying there for 5 years.
Okay.
Right? And this guy can do whatever it is. So the only time the guys can again change their opinion if he's a good or a bad person is they had to wait for 5 more years, right? So my idea is like taking inspiration from Switzerland. Is it possible to create a kind of protocol where with all the technology and everything, everybody is connected, and every time there's a certain referendum or any decisions that we need to take, people have to vote yes or no. Like the scoring that they have to give. Okay, we want to fly over or not? Real-time feedback throughout the 5 years. Can we use technology to really make democracy where it is not about people believing somebody, but it's like how Swiss people do? It's in their hands.
Yes, that's very
And-
true, but I think there's a bit of a difference between a country with a population of 8 million and a country of a population of 1 billion.
Why not? Why not? I mean, it's the same, right?
I'm not saying no, it's impossible. I'm just saying there was a bit of a difference.
Right. Actually, if you see this way, Switzerland doesn't use technology. It still use a traditional way of referendum, sending by
Absolutely.
post. But I want to use
Yep.
technology, and that's the reason why. If you use
Wait,
technology,
You're
we
already,
can reach to people.
you're already counting on the fact that everybody has access to technology, which might not be the case, right?
No, let's imagine, like, I create a party, or let's say, it's not like I create, but create a protocol where everybody gets a chance to connect. So people, like students who have smartphones, they can be a part of the thing. And it's not like we work as a pack, right? We all work together, right? So, and any decisions that the party has to take will be taken by everybody together democratically.
I think
And
this
if we can work it out in a small pack, like within our community, within our group, and then we can see if this, and let's say we have like 500,000 or 1 million followers who are connected, who believe in our vision. Now it's a matter of, okay, we are 1 million people. Now we can really go to big parties and we can negotiate. Hey, if we want to support you, then these are the kind of things you need to do to us, or there's a way to really work it out. So I don't know. There's a crazy idea. Can we use decentralization and the blockchain and all these technologies to really make democracy a bit more, not really
democratic.
5-year periodic, but can we make it like a little shorter frame? That's my idea. It's random.
The crazy ideas are always the best, buddy. I think it's fantastic. Everybody should have a say. That's what a democracy is based on.
Right.
Unfortunately, with that comes fraud, comes, you're talking about using technology or an electronic system, comes the possibility of hacking.
Right.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's no different than what we have today. I mean, if everybody votes and somebody is corrupt from the inside, doesn't matter what technology you use anyway, right? I guess maybe technology.
Corruption is a different thing. I don't want to attack corruption because that is a very broad topic, and we don't know at what level people are corrupted and what. I mean, maybe legally it's not corruption today, but you find you can be smarter than other people, and you can find ways to kind of get your ideas through, like lobbying or something. My idea is like, why is it like a 5-year term, the whole election process, and people are not engaged? They only vote during this election, and they have to just wait to see what these funny guys are doing. My thing is like, can we use technology to really go a little bit deeper? Where, I mean, we're all connected in real time. I mean, you can send a WhatsApp message. On a Tinder, you can swipe left or right if you like the girl. Why can't we swipe left and right a policy by the government that you like or not?
Yeah.
And based on this,
that could be a good idea. At least here in Switzerland, maybe I'm mistaken, but I think every year you run elections in this country, right? So every year, let's say between one as the president of the country, which is not really the president, right? It's just the representative
of that party, and then it kind of does like a rotation.
It's not like it's run every year, but I think they rotate. They rotate every year. The federal council.
They rotate. They do
because
rotate.
they're together.
But I think I don't know if it's a rotation or if he gets elected. But in any case, what you say about referendums and things like that, here they do that, right? If something is big enough, everybody has to vote for it.
Right. If you're a group of 100,000 people or something,
I think it's around
it's even less than that.
Yeah, coming together with a certain referendum, and people will go yes and no, and it's a long process. But I think with technology we can make it shorter to a level where people can do weekly basis. They can decide what policies to go and not, and kind of steer the government.
I think that's a fantastic idea, but you have some issues there, like voting with a ballot or with an envelope. Everybody knows, from whatever age to whatever age. But using a smartphone, downloading an app, potentially, in whatever type of phone, so not everybody has access to technology, but even if they do, you need to make sure that they understand how that technology works. Right. And maybe it's a little detail, but
I see it in two ways. One is definitely what you said. Voting is something really very important. So I wouldn't really disrupt that area. But I'm talking about an area where you want to create your tribe, like what Democrats and Republicans are, right? Now, what Democrats are trying to do, it's mostly people who are elected, and they're kind of deciding, and they kind of promote their ideas and everything, right? And that's it. Some people like, some people don't like. But my thing is like to really, it's the same thing. Like I think just offline, it's a different topic, but it's going like you have your Manchester United or Real Madrid team. You have fans who are very important, right, for these clubs who are supporting these things. But they don't get anything in the middle. Only the emotional thing they're getting, but they're not part of the system. You see, my thing is to make these people who are fans, who belong to a tribe, to be a part of the system for decision making or for something.
Yeah, no.
Like, hey, we want to buy Cristiano Ronaldo for our team. What do the paid members or whatever members of this team they want to take, yes or no, for example, and engaging everybody together so that they feel that they're also part of the system.
Yeah.
By doing this, I think it can disrupt entertainment. It can disrupt, for example, we are all Avenger fans, but why can't we also bank on it? Can we buy the tickets before they even make the movie? And if we can get it for a lesser price, because we are kind of supporting them as well, right? So this is the whole idea. Can we make this technology piece where you connect the fans or people who believe in your idea, not the distributor who's making a lot of money? There's guys who are creating the content, and the people who are distributors who are basically taking the risk. But these risks can be taken by the fans too, right? Because we all live fans, and what are we getting? We're getting nothing. We're just getting entertained. But hey, we are fans. That means that we really can be a part of the system.
I think so. What you're basically saying is, instead of voting in one guy to make decisions for 5 years, you want to say, okay, we're going to vote this guy in, and he's going to take the advice from the people as well, like you say, like they do in Switzerland. I think Switzerland is the most democratic country in the world because of that fact.
Even if democracy doesn't really exist anymore, it's the most close to democracy.
And it's apples and oranges,
democracy,
you know. It's apples and oranges, you know, the size of Switzerland, the population, and whatnot.
But still, it's a good system.
It's a really good system.
Because I think the main inspiration is Switzerland for me, because things are so transparent and very clear. And when I see like in countries like India, or maybe I don't know, in the US too, people promise a lot before elections. They say, okay, we are going to give this, we're going to give that, we're going to give this. When they come in, they don't do anything. And you need to stick with them, because hey, you fell for the trap. And in the next elections, then the people are saying, oh well, this guy promised, but he didn't deliver anything, so vote for me because I'll do it for you. And this guy is the same joker too.
Yeah, well,
right?
that's
like the whole idea is like, hey,
they're all
you
bastards.
say something, you say something, you need to be accountable. And the only way we can do that is like, hey, in real time, we also can get you down too. But that is like far-fetched.
The point you brought up about the football teams, Manchester U and what that, they tried that with the NBA, with the All-Star voting. They said, okay, we're going to let the fans vote, and then the fans just voted in the most ridiculous guys. So the actual best players in the league didn't get in. So they were like, okay, to hell with that. We gave that a try, but you guys voted in Joe Smo, who never plays, so forget it.
I think you need to count on trolling.
Exactly. That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Yeah. I think we need to see what works too. For example, selecting players, maybe that's not what you want to give to the thing. Maybe what the fans can get is paying tickets in advance and getting
there's on YouTube, maybe not for YouTube, but for whatever artist I seen primarily on YouTube, there's something called Patreon. I don't know that.
Yeah, I've heard of Patreon. Yeah.
So Patreon is the same system, right? You have people that pay you, like Patreons, and they give you a little small amount per month.
To support you because you're a creative artist.
Exactly, and you give them like props.
Yeah.
Besides your actual content, like you give them something else.
Right.
And a lot of people are, earning their lives with that, and I may be doing whatever, and then I don't know, 200 people or 2,000 people around the world, or 3,000 or 4,000, whatever the number, are paying me a little quantity, but among all of them, or between all of them, they make a nice amount, and they get, let's say rewards in a sense, and that's a cool system, I think.
I think even if just they appreciate your content, or they appreciate what you're doing, your art, or this and that, they say, I'll throw this guy,
And you can give them $1 per month.
Right, I'll throw this guy $1 because I appreciate what he's doing, and I'm consuming his content.
And if he has 15,000 followers,
right,
then
good to go, man.
Exactly, $15,000 or francs, whatever.
This podcast is sponsored to you by Patreon too.
Well, exactly.
Netflix,
that's where I've heard of Patreon.
Disclaimer: we're not sponsored by Patreon, or anything for that matter.
Maybe someday.
Maybe someday.
At the moment, it's just us.
You know what? We could open a Patreon too.
We absolutely could.
And we could get financing for better microphones, better plays, better computers.
Bingo.
That is completely true.
Bingo.
Right. I think we should put money ourselves first. We should sponsor ourselves, right?
Well, got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Yep.
But I just want to ask you about, in order for you guys to make parties, let's say you want to create your own party in the US.
Sure.
What is the investments you need to put in?
I have no idea.
I'm curious. Maybe
no idea.
If you can find me out, that would be nice. Imagine we create one big party in the US, Spain, and India, and it's like a global party.
Well, I imagine it's kind of the same as here, where anybody could start. Say, I'm starting a political party. This is what we stand for. This is what we're promising.
This is our objective,
and then the people will decide whether it's bullshit or not. But
there's
the thing. In the U.S., it's a little different too, because in the U.S. it's a two-sided party. The system's rigged, so that it just falls down to the two. There are many different parties in the U.S. There's a socialist party, there's a green party, there's all kind of different parties, but
they just split the votes, right? Maybe.
But unfortunately, the system's rigged so that the two major parties are the ones that end up.
Yeah, it's the same in India too.
Right.
In Spain, we do have other parties, and especially lately, some small parties have been rising a little bit, but historically we have also two parties.
Right.
The Reds and the Blues.
That's it, man.
So before they were right and left, and now they're center right or right.
Yeah.
Which is a horrible option. And now you have these other parties, the super fascist ones and the super between commas lefty ones, which are more. It's a chaos, but yeah, it comes down to the same thing. Two parties, two big things, and even if you create your own small party, getting in the system, getting votes and all that, it guarantees absolutely nothing.
You would think that now that the environment of the world right now, it would be the perfect time for a party to say, listen, we're done with all this other bullshit. Here's what we're gonna stand for.
But the old dinosaurs
But the
still
old
stand,
dinosaurs
man.
still there, man. It's bizarre.
Yeah, but I think the world is getting towards like how the whole Bitcoin has disrupted, right? A set of rules and people aligning to it, right? I mean, I think that is where we are going. I mean, maybe people will not get the power, maybe still the old guys, but I think by defining a certain value system of what you believe in, I think you'll find a lot of people who kind of synchronize with your thoughts, and they can be a big movement. I'm not saying it will be the biggest movement or you will rule a country, but I think it will be substantial.
But you know what I think it happens? At least from where I come from, it always boils down to the same thing. Like, regardless if you're an older party, a newer party, different ideas, whatever, like whatever you come from, it boils down to being right wing or left wing, and the right wing always behaves one way and the left wing always behaves one way.
Right.
And the right wing always is conservative. Their voters are radicals. They're hardcore voters. They vote for them no matter what. If they do, whatever they do, they vote for them.
Yep.
If they get in corruption cases, if they're arrested, whatever, any scandals, they vote for them. And the left guys, they're always divided. They don't agree. They ever agree. And they get divided even more and more and more, and to the point that they're not relevant anymore.
Yep.
Or they're just confused about what they do. So a lot of unity from one side and not unity from the other side. And it always boils down to that thing. And in Spain, I had the living example, at least in my time, of this party called Podemos. I don't know if that rings any bells.
No.
So it's basically a left party that rose, I don't want to say anything bad, but maybe like 6 or 7 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
From a university guy. I mean, a guy from university that spoke languages, that had a career, like, very knowledgeable people, young people that stay in touch with everybody, and they proposed some very nice things, and everybody was pumped. I was still pumped. And over the years, they've been dividing themselves and just getting confused with what they want and what they want to propose, and the right wing has been getting stronger and stronger and stronger because they're radicals, right? So, welcome all the radicals in Spain. And the left gets just divided and divided and divided, and you're like, come on, you guys had a very nice thing and you just fucked it up, because it's always the same thing. The left side gets confused and divided, and they don't agree in anything. Instead of, agreeing on all the things that we like, instead of just pointing out the things that we don't like, and then, I don't know. I know it's simplifying it too much, but that's how I see it anyway.
You made a good analogy with your Bitcoin thing. It's just, I think it's possible that there's a shift, because like with Bitcoin, people just get tired enough and say, I'm tired of this other shit. Let's all agree to this certain set of rules or whatever, and let's try an alternative.
I think we should work the other way, like, since we find loot and stuff like, maybe we need to define what would be what would be our political party when we be in Mars, for example.
Oh.
Because there's no left and right wing. We need to define the wing right now.
Up and down?
Yeah, and let's say there are a lot of people, and we need to define, hey, this is the way it's going to work, and we can set the rules now, and maybe somebody on our planet will adopt it.
You knew I grew up a punk, though, right? So I would adhere to anarchy.
Anarchy would be nice. Like,
Anarchy
nobody
would be nice.
does anything bad because they know exactly what's good, right? So you don't need police.
Anarchy's a great idea, but people are too stupid
Exactly.
to have it be realized.
Yeah, it's like communism. It was a nice idea, and
It's
then
a
they
nice
fucked it
idea.
up.
But we'll find a way to fuck it up.
That is completely true.
Yeah.
Politics 101. What is this left and right? How do you define left and right? What is being left and right? I don't get it.
It's conservative and liberal.
So what is
So if you're-
conservative?
if you're-
Left
if
is
you-
conservative?
It's
So
yes.
basically-
No. Right is a conservative. So you have conservative views of life.
But
Doesn't mean that
typically
they're.
when people say right, it's on the good side, right?
No. I mean,
I don't
No,
think
not
there's a good
so
or
much.
bad side.
what I would say is that right wing stands more for the private and economy side. Like, they engage on private things.
So capitalism comes to the right or the left?
Right.
So so it's not.
Definitely. I think, I mean, I guess it's compatible, but to me, some guy from right wing, because it really boils down to, let's say, personal wealth.
So Trump is right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Democrats are left and Republicans are right.
Yeah,
Yes.
for the most part.
Right.
Well, I would say that Democrats are center right and Republicans are right.
Yeah.
But I would say that left goes more for the public stuff, not more like to make somebody rich or companies, so they would inflate public economy, whereas right will inflate more businesses economy.
If somebody
Sort of.
says you're a socialist, or if somebody says that they're a socialist, they would be considered on the left. If somebody said that they're a staunch capitalist, then they would be considered on the right.
And still, you would say right is conservatives.
Yeah,
Rights
they
are
say
conservatives,
it's they're conservatives. Yes, they have conservative views.
and left
even though
people are very liberal with
Liberal.
with very communist views. Right?
Well, the
Because
most-
communist-
the most extreme
views.
ones, I
socialist
guess,
views.
yeah.
Let's provide for everybody. Let's take care of everybody. And the conservatives are on the right side, the capitalists will say, listen, I worked hard. I should reap the benefits of my
Exactly.
hard work.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't really give a shit about anybody else. I did it. They can do it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
As for
always the
example,
case.
in contrast with that, communism is basically giving the owning of the company to the employees and not to some guy. So all the company belongs to every employee at the same time, not to one person. So all the benefit goes to the employees and not to one guy that then just shares the stuff, right?
Right.
So
So I think what is good and what is bad. I think
There's good and bad parts to each
but
side.
both of them, right? That's what I see it. Yeah.
But
well,
neither side is
depends
close
on how
to
you take a
perfect.
look. But if everything goes like to one guy and he decides, it's bad. But at the same time, if you divide everything to everybody, you can get into trouble too, I guess.
Right. Neither of them work.
Yeah.
We need a whole new idea. We need
Yeah,
a
that's
whole
right. Neither
new
work.
So Western Europe is mostly left.
West. Well, it's
Just
been
very-
shifting.
very socialist, right?
It's been shifting quite a bit.
Left.
But I
center.
would say that lately it's been very right, especially in
Oh
Europe.
yeah, for sure.
But
Yeah.
still
I
they have
think
very
since the
socialistic,
collapse,
right? Where in terms of social security and the Medicare and all these kind of things.
Yes and no. Maybe in the 90s, but now they're at least. I can just speak for Spain. They're destroying the public system little by little, and they're encouraging the private system, because that's where the money, to short term is. The long term money is in the public side.
Right.
At least countries like Spain, France, Italy, Portugal,
Right. Greece.
and most notably Switzerland, where
Yeah.
there's no public system at all. Maybe in contrast with that, you have the northern countries like Sweden, Finland, Norway. Those guys have a completely public system,
Right.
and they all bet their money, especially the Finnish guys, in the public system. But it's been there for years, so now it starts to,
Reap the
gets-
benefits.
Exactly, the benefits are now starting to show up, and maybe it's been 20 years, 25 years, or
Yeah.
more, 30 years. Which is not the best investment you can make if you're a businessman, right? You want money right away.
Right. You got to show the.
I personally would say that Europe in most, at least of our days, is right-winged. Maybe not in the before, but right now I would say.
No, in the
for-
last 10, 15 years, there's definitely been a shift. Right,
Yeah.
for sure.
But it's true that, as you say, it shifts.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to think at a time that Europe was completely left, or most left. Maybe some historian would tell us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I read? I read men that can do 40 push-ups or have less chance of heart disease. You think you can do 40 push-ups?
40 push-ups.
Yeah.
Okay.
40 push-ups in less than a minute, right?
Well, I didn't say it. I
Wait,
didn't give a
40
time frame, but I would
It's a
say
minute.
When
I
you
would
say
say
40
consistently.
Let me get straight what a push-up is. 40 push-ups is not you getting in a bar and vertically
No,
pulling
no,
yourself.
push-up on the
Oh, those are
ground.
pull-ups.
Those are pull-ups. Yes.
Oh, push-ups.
So
Whoa,
push up on the
40.
ground. Could you do 40 consecutive push-ups?
I can do 25.
No, in no time frame. You could take your time. I mean,
Okay.
you can't take a 5-minute break, but
Yeah, right.
it has to
right.
be one after the other.
I
but
think my limit is 25.
you think?
One after the other, 25, yeah.
I think
or
with the-
20.
I think 25 is what I can do right now without any
40
practice.
is, 40 is
But-
a lot of them.
But I think 40, maybe I can do it in a week's time with some practice.
I think this
if
is
you
at
don't
one,
get,
this
yeah.
is at one sitting, buddy. I think this is what the article was trying to say.
Yeah, one sitting.
40
once it-
consecutive push-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for somebody who's been trained, right? Or no?
No,
Without
this is
any
just
training?
this was just
Right,
this
okay.
was the article that this
Interesting,
was
yeah.
the title of the article that I saw that said men that can do 40 push-ups have a less chance of heart risk, which is kind of like a no-brainer, no shit. Like if you can, but Anyway,
You're
sorry,
ripped if
Paco,
you can
back
do
to
that.
you, buddy.
Shall we change topics maybe from politics?
Yes.
I want to propose, like, I have searched 2 quotes, and I think I'm gonna quote Mr. Iron Mike Tyson every single podcast
I
because
love
I
it.
just love his quotes.
love it.
So I'm gonna quote him and somebody else. So the quote from Mike Tyson, or beloved Mike Tyson, is, "I'm not Mother Teresa, but I'm not Charles Manson either."
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
that is good.
I think everybody is like that. Nobody's Mother Teresa, but neither is Charles Manson.
Right.
It's like maybe Mother Teresa and Charles Manson themselves.
Good point.
And the other quote, I was maybe a more serious one, was by Robert Frost. I think it's a extract from a poem called "A Servant to Servants," and it says, "The best way out is always through." And I find that kind of, even if it's a short one and maybe not very shiny, I find it very interesting
I like it.
and inspiring, because it is true. The best way out is through. Like, if you're in the shit, if you stay still, nothing's gonna happen. You need to go through. And sometimes, even if you don't see where you're going, you just gotta go through.
Like they
you
say,
need
the
to
shortest
hope.
distance, between 2 points is a straight line.
Yeah. I don't know. It was food for thought for me for the last days, because I was thinking to do some
very
stuff.
nice.
Maybe it doesn't really hold that right now, but
Oh, it's a very nice quote. It's very nice.
still, yeah.
I have a quote from Osho. You know this guy?
Who?
Osho?
Osho.
Wild Wild Country, Osho.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah? He's
That-
famous?
Oh, you haven't seen his.
No, I've seen his documentary, of
Oh,
course. I've
bro.
seen it,
Holy hell.
but I really like him. He has a lot of videos on YouTube where he talks about life and everything.
Well, he wouldn't have thousands and thousands of.
Could you guys enlighten me, maybe?
Oh
What-
yeah,
Right,
but
For somebody that doesn't know this guy?
Netflix can
Osho is-
enlighten you as well.
Yeah, Osho is a guy, he's a spiritual guru from India who has created this whole cult movement of happiness, and he promoted sex and love, and a guy who is really, he said that he was known for his Rolls Royce. He has so many of them collection, and he
36
said
or
that he was a
something
guru
like
for only for rich people, and he doesn't like poor people, and he was very blunt. And a lot of his videos on YouTube are a lot of fun actually, because this guy has a very good sense of humor. He talks very slowly, but people are just waiting for it. So the quote from him is, "All of our miseries are nothing but attachment." That's what it is. It all
Like-
boils down to attachment.
Like baggage?
Yet he has 36 Rolls Royces.
Something like that. I don't know.
All of our miseries are nothing but attachments. Like, we attach to those things.
All our miseries are nothing but our attachments. So
Our attachments.
Yeah, our miseries are basically our attachments. The moment you detach from materialistic or whatever it is, basically you'll be happy without any miseries. Got it, Brian?
I got it.
You just got new attachment with your daughter.
Yeah, true. That is very true. I'm attached for life.
Detach from the other, no more problems with your daughter.
But that contradicts it, because she brings me nothing but joy,
Happiness,
even though
right.
she screams and eats and shits,
Right.
and I haven't even.
Right. I think all the attachments are basically your extensions, right? I mean, when you have kids, they're extensions of you. So if they're
Yeah,
happy,
true.
you feel happy. If they feel sad, you feel sad. So everything is kind of multiplied. It's like you're living again with them.
Maybe when they're younger, because when they're older, at least maybe 10 years, or when they start to be pre-adolescents or pre-teenagers, maybe you're happy, they're not happy, and the other way around. But
I'm
as babies,
kinda-
I can agree with him. Yeah.
I'm kind of looking forward to seeing the kind of person that my daughter becomes. I'm looking forward to that. I don't want to try to mold her. I don't want to try.
Right,
I want
right.
her to experience life her own way, and I want to see that.
You
So
will
I'm looking forward to
indirectly, I
that.
think,
Who knows?
to a
know.
point.
But
Because
because
she will see the eyes through your eyes
Yeah, well, I mean,
first, because you have to take her by the hand, right, and show her the world. So whatever you see, she's gonna see. I guess you can.
I think what I'm saying, I don't want to try to influence her in one way or the other. I want her to,
Ah.
and I'm interested in that. I'm very interested into why she's going to choose the music she likes, or the movies she likes, or the people she associates with, or the political affiliation she has. That's going to be very interesting to me. This documentary about this guy on Netflix, it's called Wild Wild Country. This guy was in India. He got so many followers that they overflowed from this place that he was living at in India. He said,
Amazing.
we're going to go to the USA. They go to Oregon. They bought a ranch, and all fucking hell broke loose. You gotta watch it. It's called Wild Wild Country. It's the most insane
Wow.
shit you've ever seen in your life.
Right.
Anyway.
And the lady who was supporting him at that time,
Sheila, yeah.
yeah, Sheila lives in Zurich.
She lives in Zurich. That's right. She had
Have
to get
you watched it?
She had to get the shit out of
I
the
watched
USA.
I watched the documentary, but I think the documentary is very one-sided. I feel. I think he's very good. I think, according to me, he's really a nice guy.
I like.
But documentary is really one-sided because they show that how the local people in Oregon they didn't like this whole thing. This guy comes
No, of
over, he
course. No,
brings
they're
this,
rednecks.
yeah, exactly. He brings everything, and people, and then there's a whole controversy around poisoning people.
Oh yeah, they
and,
started. It was a war between the rednecks
Wow.
and the guru and the
Wild Country.
wild country.
You know what? I'll make sure to watch it tonight.
Yeah, but
Oh, you can't
but-
watch it in one sitting.
It's
It's
actually
like
there's a lot of
it's
seasons,
like
right?
8, 9, 10 episodes.
Oh, okay. It's like okay.
Yeah.
That's weird. Okay, I'll start tonight.
But I
I'll
would
start tonight.
suggest before that, I think, to watch couple of. I'll send couple of links of Osho talking about life in general, and
Oh.
that guy's hilarious.
There's no doubt that what he's saying has, merit.
Right.
There's no doubt. Or he wouldn't have had that many followers.
Right. Exactly. He was.
People were extremely successful in their fields, and they gave it all up to go and follow this guy and to be near this guy and to listen to what he says and just to be happy. And when you see the documentary and you hear these people talk, they get teary-eyed because of the joy.
Right.
And at first you're like, bullshit cult shit, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same old
Yeah.
shit you've always heard. But then you see, you see the love and admiration in these people's eyes and the joy they had when they reminisce on that time of their lives, and you're like, fuck,
so
man,
you-
there must
you-
have been something to it.
So you don't think there's no brainwash or?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't
this
think
guy
it's-
is like.
Condition.
No, actually,
I don't
it's
think-
the-
no, I
actually it's
don't
the
think
other
so.
way. Like
I don't
what he
think so.
says is like everybody. He said that all the people are brainwashed by their religion, so people come to him to clear it off, because people are confused because Christianity or Hinduism or somebody says something and they have a conflict with that, and he said that fuck this all shit. You are not a human being, you're a sexual being, and sex is very natural, and he's the first guy to really, so all his kind of teachings are very natural actually in that way. So it's kind of interesting, very interesting. But
it's
yeah, the
extremely
documentary
interesting.
is really worth it. It's really
Oh, yeah.
if you don't know the person, I mean, he will hook you up. Boom. You'll
Yeah,
be
it's-
just taken
it's-
by him. Boom.
it
Osho
definitely-
will take over you. huh?
It sucks you in, man. When you start hearing this story when they went to Oregon, man, it sucks you right in. It is wild.
Jesus.
No,
And this
well,
was
pun
in
intended.
80s.
It's wild,
And
wild
this
country.
was 1980s or something.
This was in the
right?
80s, yeah.
80s,
this was in the
and
80s.
such a big following.
Yeah.
Such a big cult following.
Wow.
And he's still gone. So anyway.
I'll make sure
I have
to
a good
watch it.
morsel for music lovers.
Ooh.
The part of the brain that recognizes music never gets lost to Alzheimer's.
Is that true?
I heard that too. Yeah, I heard
That's
that
good
too.
news, dude.
Right. So you guys have to really improve your
I heard that too.
music memory, and
Jesus,
Wow.
mine is very is very on the top already. I
Yeah,
guess.
mine I would imagine is quite vast.
But this film? I think it was based on real things. I think it was Robin Williams that played. Maybe I'm confused.
Robbie
In Spain
Williams,
we call
the singer?
no Robin.
Oh, Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. The DC
Sorry.
is Robin Williams. Because I know the name in Spain. It was called. We call them despertares, which basically means awakening or the awakenings, which is a doctor that treats these patients that have this syndrome where they get stuck in their bodies, right? Or they have like a neurological disease that don't allow them to move, and then
And Robin Williams played the patient?
the
no, he played the doctor, and I think
played
with
the doctor.
music or some. Oh no, maybe I got mistaken. It was another movie.
Oh,
That one is cool too, but maybe I got mistaken. So
no,
whatever.
Could have
I don't
been.
know.
You could have been on the right track. There was a couple.
Never mind. But that's interesting what you say about Alzheimer's and music.
And on the other side, there's a Warner Music. It signs a deal to release 20 algorithmic generated albums this year.
Wait, what? Say that again?
Yeah.
You know Warner Music?
No.
It's a production company which supports people who make music. So this
Okay.
company
not.
has signed a deal with people who make algorithms to generate music.
The algorithm
out-
generates the songs.
Automatic
music.
automatic
Not the song,
music.
but the music.
So music created by a computer.
Yeah, algorithms, right? I mean, you feed like I don't know, 1,000 tracks of.
Oh, and
Um,
it creates
Yeah,
something.
1,000 tracks of I don't know, the greatest guitarist player, and it creates a new theme. Okay, give me 1 minute clip of what you learned, and
Oh, really?
it really generates a 1 minute clip of.
Oh,
Hey,
Christ.
this can be your version. And there's a lot of IP issues happening because if a computer learns from a certain kind of pattern, let's say from Michael Jackson song or I don't know, Queen or whatever, and if the computer is generating it, this should also belong to the IP of the original composer of the other songs.
Oh yeah, that's
Well,
getting,
So
that's
there's a
getting
lot of
tricky.
conflict
If it
happening.
copies it, yes. If it
No, if it
doesn't
not
copy,
copies, if it is trained only with one pattern, for example, take I don't know, Led Zeppelin music,
Sure.
and the computer is only learning 1,000 of Led Zeppelin songs, and it just learns from it, and it creates a 1 or 2 minute clip of a new music. It is IP of Led Zeppelin.
Interesting.
I don't think so.
But nobody says it. But I think there's a lot of and there's a lot of regulatory aspects happening for this because
But that's interesting because, for example, as a musician myself, for example, everything that I can play is because I've listened to other guys, because I've listened to my idols or to groups that I like. So I'm unconsciously applying what they do in what I do. So I'm the computer is doing the same thing. We're feeding him. You're making him listen to stuff.
I think human intelligence is way more advanced because you're listening to a bunch of people, and then you're creating new music.
But it's the same
But
concept.
we're not so advanced. In like computers are, we cannot do the way computers do. Computers can listen to, for example, when you play new music, there's a lot of learning that happens to you when you start playing new music. A computer can crack 10 songs of Led Zeppelin right now, and then half an hour later it can produce a 2 minute clip of a new Led Zeppelin song, right? So there's a big difference between this because this is very much algorithmic generated music, and it is generated based on only one artist or something. It is kind of, there's a big debate happening. I'm not saying that I'm not taking any sides.
But I
Right.
can put
There's
you
a
the
big
same
debate
example.
happening.
Like, imagine a guy that is a huge fan of let's say Jimmy Page, right? Now you're speaking about Led Zeppelin. So
Right.
he's a huge fan of Jimmy Page. He doesn't listen to anything else than Led Zeppelin. He's a guitarist, and everything he constructs and he plays is around Jimmy Page's work.
Right.
Is he copywriting stuff? Because if he produces
No, he's a
something,
cover artist.
Is it
well,
cover-
he's a cover artist, but
But I don't know.
What I'm saying is that-
I think music is very complicated, but I think you can imagine this like people like I think there's somebody who's like who looks like Britney Spears. I think there are some people who came up right lookalikes of Britney Spears, trying to get some shows and getting some getting paid for it and everything. I don't know how about the legalities for that because pretty much nobody's coming to watch her. They're coming to watch a lookalike of Britney Spears or something, right? So they're promoting their name. So it's the same thing. Like I think in music,
but like that.
but in the
you're-
music, if you're learning and if you're creating something new, I think nobody can say anything because it's a human learning. But this is computer generated stuff. It's
It
like
does feel
but-
like cheating.
it's
but
like
it
you
does.
read a novel, you read one author, or like you read a paragraph of something and you write your own summary. You read the next one, you
But it's what the
write your
machine
own
is
summary.
doing in its own way, but it's doing that. Like Jimmy Page is the only one that can play like Jimmy Page because he is Jimmy Page. Everybody else, even a computer, cannot emulate Jimmy Page. He can try to make stuff look like Jimmy Page, but he won't have the touch of him playing. As if I, for example, try to play whatever he
But
plays,
I
I
think-
cannot play what he plays.
I think with neural networks, that's the whole idea of neural networks is a very data-driven thing because not with one song, but if you give a collection of, let's say, let's take the Mozart, for example. He has created a vast amount of music, right? So if your AI or a neural network is kind of like, it kind of looked at everything what Mozart has played, probably it can come up with something new on the same lines.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
So now this is a credit it has to go to Mozart because it has learned from this wide data set. But of course, if you give only one song, I don't think what is great there to learn about.
But still, like even if you give the wide range of stuff from Mozart, he produces something that Mozart never played. Thus, it doesn't belong to Mozart. If I play something that he played, then it belongs to him. Because I can play.
It's an open debate. Yeah.
That must
what
be
do you
the
think,
argument.
Brian?
that's
must
what I
be
think.
the argument.
I don't know.
What do you think, Brian? It's a discussion.
No, I think I think you're both absolutely right in the points that you're making, but with the computer, it fucking feels like cheating, doesn't it? like with your
It does,
point,
it
like
does.
okay, if a guy listens to nothing but Zeppelin and he comes out and he plays and he sounds just like Zeppelin, you're like, wow, that guy's really influenced by Zeppelin. If somebody plugs in 20 fucking tracks of Zeppelin into a computer and they pop out something new, you're like, fucking cheater.
That's
how-
It feels like
because-
cheating.
because the
I don't
human-
know why,
the-
but it
the-
feels like cheating.
Because the human being spent hours and hours and hours and hours of playing just to look like Zeppelin, like Led Zeppelin.
But
Right? The
actually-
computer just spent
Because
maybe a
he
couple
put
of
his
minutes.
time in, man.
No,
I don't
but
know. It
this is
just feels
exactly
like
what is
cheating to
happening
me.
now because let's say you're a talented musician, you like Led Zeppelin, you feed into the computer gives some random output. out of 10 random outputs, you like one of them, and you start playing that, and it's your track, because you can copy it from there, and then you can play that. It's your track, right? And this is what is happening. I think there are websites where it creates artificial music right away.
This
It's crazy.
the next 50 years are going to be fucking fascinating. As this AI develops and gets
You're
into more-
very
it's gonna
optimistic about the lifespan of this.
Well, when I say fascinating, I don't mean that, you know.
No, I think
In 50 years,
I don't mean
we'll
that
be
I don't mean that it's going to be
less than 50 years.
I don't mean that it's going to be a nightmare,
I
but
think, I think this is where the creativity is there, according to me, in the future, because the whole creativity or where the jobs lie is basically we mastering what tools to use and how to put them together to make a masterpiece. Because individually everything will create with all this technology you can create with AI and everything, but all of a sudden you need to create a symphony using all these techniques in a very quick time to make something quickly. I think that's where the big
doesn't there have
then-
to be a
then-
human element involved?
Exactly. That's
Doesn't
what
there
I
have
wa-
to be some feeling?
That's what I was going to say. Maybe
Sorry, what?
Doesn't there have to be some feeling, some
Exactly.
some emotion evolved in it?
because now you have another discussion like this. Let's say the human touch. Is it a real thing or is something abstract that only humans possess? Or is something that you can code? Is something you can implement to some other being? Some
Yeah,
other.
I think that's exactly what we're trying to do in our company, right?
Yeah, but that's what we're trying to do. But is it possible in reality? Like,
I think it's chemicals. I think it's all chemicals.
so then we're discussion of is there anything else popping from these chemicals? Is anything more abstract occurring
Because
to a very high level?
Because emotion is empathy, right? I mean, now empathy is all about what stories you listen to, right? And all of a sudden, if if you're fed stories which are very much about yourself, you become yourself. If the stories are all about giving to the community, then you'll become very empathetic to the community, right? So emotions is
True.
a matter of what is that you're consuming.
Yeah, but like, can you reproduce the emotion?
What
like,
is emotion?
if, but that's what you said. They're chemicals, right?
So is it the release of dopamine? Is it the release of serotonin? I mean, that is.
But that's the debate. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, because-
I'm from the side that there's something else to that.
See, for
like,
example-
there's an abstract concept that it cannot be achievable any computer, at least with the technology that we have today. I think that the human touch, as you said, or the human element, the feel, that is something that is so abstract to us that it cannot be implemented. You can have something efficient, something popular, something easy, something well constructed, but the human touch is the human touch. Like,
I know people will
When you say human
compare.
touch, what do you mean by that? Is it physical
it's
touch?
that,
or
that,
is it
that when
like-
you listen to something, you can tell that a human has worked.
It's that it's the
Ah,
emotion.
it is. It's a big Turing test, right?
the
That's called the
emotion.
Turing test in computer science, where you chat with a random person on the internet or whatever.
Like Blade Runner.
Yeah. And the whole test
Yeah,
is
I
like
think it's a Turing
yeah,
test.
the whole test is like if you cannot recognize if the other person is a computer or a human, then basically the intelligence is good enough, and that's where we are going. I'm sure the next 20 years there will be
Wow. Yeah.
exact emulation where you don't know you're talking to the real person or to a coded system, intelligent system.
Shit.
But I think that's fine.
It's a
then
fucking
if a
interesting
machine-
discussion, man.
But if a machine behaves, let's say that it creates a song, and that song touches your heart as your favorite artist. If the machine does these little tricks that it has just to mimic what a human does it make it human?
See, what I feel is like
Right?
what you're talking is basically trying to create a robot which is pretty much like with human emotions. But I think right now the intelligence what we created is very rigorous in a way that, for example, go on YouTube. Whatever you want to believe, you can find the videos that you'll make you believe that. Whatever you want to do it.
Yeah.
You go on this side or that side. Trump is a great guy. You'll find the content which will show that Trump is a great guy. Obama is a bad guy. You'll find the content which will support your arguments, right? And that is there. That is intelligence in a way, right? And it's kind of everywhere. So that is where it will slowly peep into our system. It's not like one-to-one. I'm talking to a robot. It has to be human. No. I think you'll be surrounded with the thing like that's what the fake news is about, right? You don't know what is right, what is wrong.
There's
And
got to be a way to find the truth, though. The facts.
What is the truth? There's no truth. It's always relative. What
The
is
facts
truth?
are the facts, you know. This
Yeah.
is
Told by
white.
who?
You know, I can go onto a website and they'll tell me, no, that's black. You know, that color right there is
Yeah,
black.
but-
But
But that's an
this is-
objective.
fact is,
but
it's
that's an
white.
objective fact.
This is
With humans,
objective.
everything is subjective.
like the
it's
emotional
relative.
thing, right? Like
Well, I think what you're saying about your point is like, you know, it's the old adage. Well, you know, the emotion of love is, you know, the same as you get when you eat chocolate. you know. But I think what Paco is saying, you know, you can measure that. But I think what Paco is saying is there's something unmeasurable about
Yeah.
human emotion that we'll never be able to.
I think that's where we are trapped. I think the human emotions is something that, if to say it's white or black, that is very subjective and it's very clear. But the human emotions is something that we've already been manipulated with technology. And the elections, the previous elections, where social media itself has really influenced a lot of people to go here and there.
It's true.
And social media is technology. It's nothing else. It's a technology where people can tune it. What is people? I mean, some kind of human intelligence is kind of making things work so that it can really manipulate people. And what is this? That's what
So
it
you're
is.
saying we're being manipulated by the machines already?
Already, yes.
Son of a bitch.
But it's a human. It's human driven. It's a machine, but it's human driven. It's driven by somebody that wants it to behave in a certain way. That
Yeah,
it cannot
but-
think by itself.
See, for example, if I want to manipulate you, okay,
Mm.
it's so difficult, but I can use all my technology to manipulate you, right?
Mhm.
And now it's about a war of this. So I think you're not emphasizing how important is this technology, right? I mean,
Or you could just grow a
is,
nice
Google
set of
is
tits.
amazing. Google is amazing. You see Domino's, and then you go onto a different video and it keeps on popping Domino's ads here and there. You know, randomly just says, "Hey, buy it." You don't buy it. You know, it's like you just don't feel it, but I think it's just there.
Paco, how
Sorry.
we doing on time, buddy?
I think we could wrap a little bit. We can wrap it up. Maybe I wanted to say we're gonna have like 5 more minutes because I have some fire questions.
Yes.
But real fire.
Right. Go
Real
Real
ahead.
fire
fire.
question. Real quick.
It's okay. Fire.
Okay. I have 5 questions.
Yes.
Quick answers.
Yes.
From both.
Right.
If you have some reasoning of the answer, then go ahead.
Okay.
What is the TV sitcom family that you will be a member of? Whatever area, whatever period.
Friends.
Why?
I love Rachel. I just want. I think
Can we
it's-
count Friends as a family?
I think
Okay.
the best thing is like if there's a way that I can play against Rachel, and Joey is so funny and if he's around me, and Chandler. I think Ross. I can replace Ross. I think I'll replace Ross.
Okay.
That's gonna
Good.
be fun.
Family Guy.
Family Guy.
Hands down.
That's-
Family Guy.
Do I need to explain further? Nah.
If you want to explain yourself, I can understand because I'm also a fan. But yeah,
What about you, Paco?
I think maybe The Sopranos. I don't know.
Ooh.
Sopranos.
Maybe
But
The
it's
Soprano
a,
family.
You
Maybe.
said sitcom, right? It's a comedy. Sopranos
No,
is not
I said.
comedy.
Oh, it's a sitcom. Fuck, I said
Fuck.
sitcom. I fell into my own
course.
trap. No. Okay, if it's a sitcom, then I would say Family Matters, just to have Seaborg go around.
Family Matters. Wow.
Because I find it funny.
It was. It was a good show, man.
I
Urkel.
Family
never,
Matters.
I never
Oh,
heard
yeah.
about it.
Yeah, with Steve Urkel.
Yeah, man.
I don't know this guy.
Okay.
Next
Next,
question.
next thing. What is the meanest thing have you ever said to somebody? If you can recall it.
I'd probably fuck off and die. I don't know.
Maybe the context is also a nice thing. Like, for example, I say fuck off and die to another driver that was just crossing me.
But I say that
Like,
I say that
it's a-
every day, but I think I said it sincerely to a woman, so that was kind of mean. Yeah.
What is the meanest? I just don't remember.
You don't remember?
I don't remember being. I mean, mean. I don't know. It's
I
too
don't-
quick.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, how can?
I don't. Sometimes I try to catch myself before I get that far, you know.
Yeah.
But I definitely remember that one thing because I felt very bad afterwards.
Or maybe I did it. I just don't remember it.
Okay. Personally, I don't remember either, but it's a question that I wanted to ask you guys.
Yeah.
Meanest thing.
Because I cannot remember being very. I mean, I can remember being very angry, but saying something that, as you said, makes you feel bad afterwards, and
Yeah.
you go like, Jesus, I regret that.
Because you know you did it to hurt them.
Yeah, and it
And
really
I never
did.
wanted to
maybe,
do. I never wanted to be a bully. I never wanted to, you know.
Yeah,
You don't want to, you know. Life's hard enough. You don't want to
exactly.
inflict any more
Yeah.
pain.
What are you scared of?
What am I scared of? Insects.
Any insect.
All insects.
Anything with 6 legs. Just
Doesn't matter how many fucking legs they have. I hate
it
them
kind
all.
of does.
I
Oh,
hate
yeah,
them
okay.
all.
I'm scared of water.
Water.
Yeah, I don't know how to
true.
swim. I don't know how to swim. So the worst thing is to be in the middle of the ocean. And
Because you mentioned that you cannot swim, right?
yeah, I cannot. and
Bro, why don't you learn how to swim?
I tried. I had a phobia for water. You know, of course I tried it. It's just that I don't know. I just.
It's not your thing.
Do you dare to go into the beach and maybe
I did all
put your
this
feet
crap.
in the
Yeah, that's fine.
just the feet?
But yeah, this is what I mean. I mean, my house is next to the beach.
Yeah.
And it's like not even 1 kilometer. It's like half a kilometer.
Grew up on the beach,
Yeah,
right? I
I
remember
grew
you
up on
telling
the
me
beach,
that in
but
India.
I
yeah.
never went and swam the beach. I just went to play the water and that's it.
party.
Because it's a dangerous beach. My parents never allowed to learn swimming. And then I also have a phobia. I learned how to swim and everything, but the fact that the moment the swimming pool, I cannot touch the feet to the ground, I go panic. I
Right,
just
right,
go panic.
right.
So I can swim until I see that
Until you don't
I can
feel
always
the-
stand up and I'll be fine. I'm okay. But the
Until you
moment,
float, right?
Huh?
Until you float, you start floating, and then you cannot feel anything.
Right.
And there's where you.
Right.
Interesting. I am scared of myself.
Wow.
I mean, I'm
Sounds
scared.
fight
It's deep,
to
dude.
me.
It's
What
deep.
I was scared of is not myself. I'm saying myself. I'm not as deep as it looks like. But no, but I'm scared of fear. That was my main point, because I have anxiety, and I'm now recovering. But my worst fear was being afraid of fear, and that paralyzes you in every way,
Yeah.
and you cannot do anything. And the sheer thought of me having that again is just
Terrifying.
It's terrifying. It's
Sure.
terrifying
Yeah,
because
man.
it blows you in any way, socially, mentally, physically. It's hard.
Right.
Yeah, man.
I have a question.
Yes.
Quick question. What's your favorite pickup line that worked?
Pickup line.
Pickup line that worked for you.
Hello.
Fuck. How would a girl fall for hello? Kidding me? Say a line that can really a girl is impressed. You know, a
It's-
real pickup line, not like a greeting line or a bonjour line.
A real pick. I don't
a
know
pickup
if that
line where
really
you go to a girl in a
works.
bar and you say something and she's like, this guy seems interesting
Oh,
or not, whatever.
You know something? Okay, maybe I don't know. I don't know if it counts like a pickup line, but me and my girlfriend met on Tinder. Okay, and the first thing I say to her on Tinder might count as a pickup line, maybe.
Which one?
Let's hear it.
Okay, so
Yeah, sure.
in her profile she said that she hated casinos.
Casinos.
Yeah, she hated casinos, and she hates casinos.
Okay,
Like
fair enough.
she can't stand casinos, and she said it like in the very first sentence.
Mhm.
And the first thing I said to her is, "Hey, would you like to come with me to a casino?"
So being
And,
sarcastic.
Well
and that
played.
opened a whole conversation.
Well played, sir.
So that's
and
a very
here we are.
custom-made pickup
That's
line.
custom-made, that's pretty
Custom-made pickup. You cannot use it
But
on
I-
every
Yeah.
girl, right?
but I played with advantage because I saw what she didn't like. So
Right.
I mean, in a normal context, you have no idea what she is or knows or.
No, but that was well played.
Yeah, that's good.
Wait, got me here.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah. You say are you looking for a pickup line to
No,
use?
no, I mean, I came
You go to the
across
bar.
on
You go to
YouTube.
the pub, right? You see a pretty girl. You see what she's wearing. You go, oh wow, that's. I'm sorry to bother you, but that's a beautiful dress. She goes, oh, thanks.
You
say,
think the
it
dress
would
could
look
be
even
the
better
best
rolled
thing?
up in a ball on my bedroom floor.
Whoa, wow.
No,
That will not
no,
work here,
no,
bro.
no. That's
Maybe
That
not
wouldn't-
here.
that wouldn't
work in
work.
the US.
That wouldn't work.
That does work in the US.
Wow, it'll get you. She's either gonna laugh
Or she's going
or
to
she's
like,
gonna,
what the fuck,
tell you to go fuck off.
I think here you will get fucked off very easily.
You say, or you walk up to a girl, she goes, oh man, those, do your feet hurt? Because you've been running through my mind all day. Oh! Look, I didn't say they were good. You wanted a pickup line, man. That's all I got.
Cool.
It's
I've
like
never-
I came
I've
across
actually
a
never-
couple of pickup lines
I've
on
never used
YouTube.
those.
One of the thing is like, do you believe in first love? Right?
Love
Something-
at first sight.
love at first sight. You believe in love at first sight? And the other one was something
She's
funny.
gonna go, "Nope."
It's really hot out here, something like that. It's really good. But,
Really
but this
hot
is
out
something
here.
YouTube, guys. Huh? I don't do this.
Yeah.
The pickup line that I did to my girlfriend was, "Can I take pictures of you? You look very beautiful."
What?
Really?
Yeah.
It's kind of
Where?
creepy, dude.
What's the context to that?
Yeah, it's
I mean,
creepy.
we were chatting. I mean, it's not pickup line, but
Um.
of course we know before. And then of course I saw
I'm a
pictures.
professional photographer. Quote.
No, I'm not a
I could
professional
take
photographer,
pictures
but I
of
said
you.
that I would. But we know each other at that time.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
Ah.
It's not like of course.
Okay.
I randomly go to a bar.
So again-
it will not
again-
count.
A little
It's
bit of advantage.
custom-
A
it's
little
a
bit of
custom
advantage.
pickup
In
line.
context, it's
Yeah.
not like a casting couch.
You know what I
content.
would say? I would compliment her for something else than the dress that she's wearing.
Sure.
Nice rack.
No, like I don't know. Maybe I like the way you look very confident, or I don't know. I like your shoes or something
Dig
like
your
that.
shoes,
or
like
a little detail
cool
that really
t-shirt.
shines from
That's
that
it.
person.
That's all. Really like
Yeah.
your earrings.
Even the way that they move sometimes, or the way they express themselves with
Yeah, for sure.
with hands, and that's attractive already. You can go like, you know what?
And it's
I
gonna
like
hit or miss. That's it. That's all there is to it, man.
Okay, llamas or squirrels, and why?
What?
Llamas or squirrels? Squirrels.
What is llamas?
Llamas.
The animals?
The
A
animal,
llama?
A llama or a squirrel?
I don't know, but
You don't know
maybe
what a
I'll-
llama is?
No, I
Okay,
don't know.
alpaca-
That's
Alpacas or
fucking
squirrels?
awesome.
I think I'll pick squirrel because I know this animal. I don't know the other animals.
You know the
Wow.
alpacas?
I don't know.
Alpaca?
Yeah.
I don't know
Llamas?
Spanish animals, dude.
This not even
They don't
Definitely
exist
not.
in India.
It's from Peru.
Definitely.
They
Yeah,
don't
they're
exist in
they're
India.
from like
I
they're
don't
from
know.
South
We have
America.
elephants.
Okay, elephants or squirrels?
Elephant for sure.
Why?
Come on, elephants are so beautiful.
Squirrels
Elephants
are
are pretty
not.
cool, man.
Squirrels, I mean, we have an elephant
Squirrels are
god.
fucking
No,
rats with bushy tails. I'm
Yeah.
elephants. I'm any other animal you mentioned besides a squirrel. Fuck squirrels, man.
I like squirrels, man.
Fuck
They're
squirrels.
awesome.
okay.
They run around and they hurt nobody.
Yeah, that's because you
They're
don't have.
cute.
That's because they haven't. They're not infested here in Europe
Llamas-
like they are
llamas-
in the U.S.
Llamas spit,
Llamas do spit.
and they're very mean.
I've never met a llama.
Me either.
Maureen met a llama. She was in Peru. She went to
Oh.
Machu Picchu. Did you know that?
Wow.
Maureen.
Amazing.
She hiked up to Machu Picchu.
Wow.
Apparently it's very high.
Yeah.
Very high. And when you go to, what's the town? There's a town next to it. It's so high that your air is so light that you had a hard time breathing.
I imagine.
People just walk to the street normally and you go like.
Right.
And then my last question. There's a sex position called the David Copperfield.
Ooh,
Do you know what it is?
is that true?
David?
Would
Copperfield?
imagine.
David Copperfield.
Okay.
Like the
that's-
magician.
I don't know it. I've
Do you have
never
any
heard.
clue to what it does? Or
I-
what do you do in the David Copperfield? What
Yes,
he does?
I haven't heard of this, but I imagine it has something to do with something disappearing.
Elevation.
Something's
quite,
going to
not
disappear
quite.
into something else.
Not quite.
That's with most sex positions, I guess, huh?
Okay, a quick guess, then I will say what it is.
I like your elevation.
Sounds
Elevation.
Some kind of elevation.
So you like you take her and you elevate her
Yeah.
or him, like you just
Yeah.
bring her or him up.
Yeah, maybe the girl is on the air and.
Or you cut her in
Onto
half.
air.
I mean,
Like she floats.
Not floating,
Yeah.
but I mean.
She's
you're-
Is a sex swing involved?
Yeah.
I don't know.
apparently he's just giving oral to a girl with a pillow underneath. That's what it is.
That's it?
It's like,
I liked it so much because he has like a super cool name, and then he's just giving head to somebody.
Yeah, that's
that's it.
disappointing. And on that note,
With a little with the cushion.
of course.
That's the little detail. So the hips are kind of put a little bit up, so
Oh.
it's easy on your neck.
Bro, that's standard. If you guys don't put a pillow underneath your girl while you're doing anything to her, you guys are missing out.
I am. Anyway.
And on that
we-
note,
we can
On
wrap
that
it up for today, I guess.
you guys are the best.
Thank you
Signing
guys.
off.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Paco. Thanks, Brian. It was great. Signing
You guys
off
are
from
awesome.
us.
And I guess I'll see you next week.
Next
See you
week.
Next week, more content,
fellas.
more fun.
Signing off.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you
go pee.
guys, and see you later.